Hello and a warm welcome to Robin's TV Extra Time as we reflect on Bristol City's 1-1 away draw with Sheffield United in the Sky Bet Championship. City went down by 1-0 but fought back in the end. A very spirited performance, and to reflect on it all alongside me in the studio is Leroy Rossignol. Leroy, it was a difficult one to stomach when Sheffield United opened the scoring, but a fabulous goal from Mark Sykes, and Bristol City in a really spirited display against a top side come away with a point.
I loved the game. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything about the performance the first half. We quieted the crowd down, and when you go to a big club like Sheffield United and they expect to beat Bristol City, and you control the ball, you control the possession, you keep the ball away from them for the most part, and you frustrate them the way City did. I thought it was a really satisfying first half, and it was disappointing when they got the goal because of that, Toby. Because Tyrese Campbell was a threat, but then the reaction of the players after that at 1-1, and then it could have gone either way. And I like the coming together.
Yeah.
I like the yellow cards. I like the fight and the spirit that if someone does something to me, I'm going to stand up to you. And they showed all of that. And you know what? The referee had a really good game as well, because sometimes we talk about referees, how they sway results. And that could have easily happened today, but he stayed strong, made the right decisions under immense pressure, so he deserves a lot of credit as well.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. Right, let's look at some of the key statistics from the 90 minutes between the two sides. And this was, possession-wise, more in Bristol City's favour at half-time, but on the balance, I mean, that just shows just how dominant they were from start to finish, really.
Look, you're absolutely right, Toby. And the game isn't just about possession, but it's about what you do with the possession. And what's pleasing is that their expected goals is more than Sheffield United's. It's 1.44 to Sheffield United's 1.43. Look at that total shots, 23 to 13. Yeah, 4 to Sheffield United's 5 on target, a little bit more quality I felt in the forward positions, but it was possession with really good outcomes and some really good opportunities, and it kind of got control of the game. Sometimes possessions, you have teams that want to play on the counter attack, which Sheffield United did because they had pace going forward, but City just took the air out of them by keeping the ball and moving the ball around, and eventually create some really good chances. And so the stats, I think, show that to go to Bramall Lane and control the game through possession, create the chances that they did, that they at least deserved the point that they got.
We'll look at some key moments in a second, but the 4 shots on target to the 23 attempts, does that sort of demonstrate that perhaps Liam Manning sees that there's maybe a bit of a weakness up top, and he's given, and we saw Jason Knight having a lot of attempts on goal this evening, Scott Twine as well, he's given those players in behind licence to really attempt and test the goalkeeper from range a bit more? I
think with the way the team set up, we saw that Twine was on the left and Max Bird was on the right, because he wanted to come inside and get the ball and have shots on target on their stronger fit. And it kind of that happened a few times for Scott Twine. But then Jason Knight got into some really positive situations. We always say fans say shoot, and it's not because they think it's going to. It excites the fans, and it gets the opposition on the back foot as well. And and then if you get people thinking you're going to shoot, then you can slip those passes in around the box. So I just thought it was a really positive attitude, and it's a positive attitude that's going to get City to where they want to go. And I thought that first half performance was about there wasn't a player I could say wasn't quite up to it today. Yeah, you could say there's little things and technically, but every single player put in a really good shift. Yeah, technically, Sinclair Armstrong should have scored. Sometimes the quality in the final third, just in terms of their shooting, they missed the target. But every single player was on it with and without the ball. And you heard during my commentary about forwards coming back and defending, which really makes me nervous. But Sinclair came back, defended brilliant. Yukawa came back, defended brilliant. It was a really good team performance.
Absolutely. Well, City got to grips with the game fairly quickly. There was a bit of a sort of shaky start, and Sheffield United did have some good early chances.
They did, and they gave the ball away a few times early on. But we know that all their play is based on possession, and I think Zach gave the ball away first, and then Jason Knight gave the ball away again. But then they recovered back in there. Zaki had two opportunities there, but he got closed down. And that was the real worry, because when they lost the ball, Sheffield United don't play sideways. They're really good in the transition. They get runners going forward. They're in high positions because they did want to press. Most of the time, City played passed out of the press, but not on this occasion. And look at that. with losing the ball, 5 Sheffield United players in City's box. Here, this was a really nice move, Harrison Burrows, down that left-hand side. And when Max O'Leary was called upon, he made some really smart saves. I say smart because he made them look easy. You know, and this is a really good technical save. I think his goalkeeping coach will be really pleased with him, Pat Mountain, because, you know, his hands are in the right position. And the starting position of your hands is really important. I'm no goalkeeper, but I've seen lots of goalkeepers training sessions, and he just has to move a few inches to make the save. Again, in a transition, and this was a big opportunity. But Jules Tanner reads it really well, comes off his man, gets across, senses the danger, and as Zaki takes his first touch, just takes it off his toes.
And he doesn't do too much wrong, the striker, there, with that first touch either. You know, well, a bit of a ricochet there, but for George Tanner to really anticipate that, it's impressive.
And it fell nicely for it because it fell in front of him. He's just about to toe poke it in the net, but George times it perfectly. Really good defend, and they had to defend well because you know what, Sheffield United, they've got good players and they're a good side. That's why they're top of the league. So those are the problems that City almost caused themselves by giving the ball away.
Now, I'd be interested to see total passes for both sides tonight if we had that particular stat. A move came shortly after that as Bristol City really started to become quite dominant in the game, which culminated in a Jason Knight effort, which was fairly wayward in the end, but this was a really impressive move.
Yeah, but I thought this was a really key moment in the game because they kept the ball for... It was close on 30 passes, and Sheffield United are trying to get the ball. And you said to me, what's the difference between, you know, this performance and the whole performance? Well, look at Sheffield United. They're trying to get the ball, and City was switching play from right to left, keeping the ball, just moving the ball really nicely, really confident. And the atmosphere and the stadium changed for 2 ways. The home fans went quiet, and the away fans started olaying. And it just gave a real confidence to City's play. And they couldn't get anywhere near them. You know, City were popping the ball about, making the good decisions, and this was great when Sheffield United came out of their slots, they stuck it in behind. Sinclair Armstrong made the runs in the channel and kept the ball. And so I thought this was a really, really key moment in the game. Yet the final finish from Jason Knight wasn't the greatest, but then you just saw the players almost grew in terms of stature. I thought, yeah, it's Bramall Lane. It's not so bad. We can come and play our football, and that's what they did.
Yeah. And prior to the match, we spoke about Sinclair Armstrong and his performance against Hull City, and the fact that he asserted his authority a little bit more and positioned himself nicely, you know, in the middle of the goal as well when opportunities came. And we felt as though he maybe should score here on reflection as well. This was a golden moment. It was a golden moment,
and it's Sinclair Armstrong. Just get in the right place at the right time, and we'll work on the rest. But you know what? The more I look at it, the more I say this should end up in the back of the net. And there's a key moment in the game. Wonderful overlap from Joe Williams. Lovely cross into the far post. And he actually heads it in the one place where the keeper can save it. Anywhere else, that's a goal. He heads it down, it's a goal. He heads it up, it's a goal. He has it in the far corner, it's a goal. And, you know, and you've got, get in the right place to have chances, but these are the sort of chances at this level, in these sorts of games, you've got to take. And that was the best chance out of all the chances we shot. That was the best chance by a country bar. Yeah, they could be talking about Michael Cooper, great save, but really, he shouldn't have been in a position to make that save. And Liam Manning would have been happier, probably, of the two managers at half-time. We'll talk about the impact that the substitutes made. One key one was at half-time when he brought on Mark Sykes. But we think probably, whilst it went on to be a very, very key moment in the game, we think Max Bird maybe picked him a bit of a knock. Yeah, we think so, because Liam does makes his substitution to Hassan around the hour mark, but Sykes, he came on at half-time. And Max Bird was playing well, really linking well with Hirokawa down this right-hand side, getting in those little pockets of space, but Sykes came on. And a slight change of shape, you know, Hirokawa went inside, and Sykes went more as a wing-back, whereas Hirokawa was more playing as a wide player and trying to just support Jules Tanner when they defended. But Sykes, it was more a defined 5 at the back when Sykes came on. For a little while, I thought it took a little while for City to get to grips with that. Yeah, and then we spoke about Tyrese Campbell of Sheffield United, almost as though we know what we're talking about. He picked up the opening goal of the game for Sheffield United. Kind of came a bit against the run of play, but it just shows the quality they had, and maybe Rob Dickie just stepped out a little bit off his mark prematurely. I know you said he came against the run of play, but just at this moment, this is when Sheffield United had control of the game. They passed the ball, Hamer, and Ryan Brewster had come on, and it was a lovely goal. But before that, there's 5 minutes of good possession, and it was all instigated by Hayward just getting on the ball and just instigating play. This is him on the halfway line. He just steps forward and plays a forward pass, and they never did this. And you see there, Zach Viner gets pulled out by Ryan Brewster, and then Tyrese Campbell comes off a deep position where he was kind of pinned on Rob Dickie, and Rob Dickie couldn't get to him. They're in a position where they couldn't make the challenge, and it gives Max O'Leary absolutely no chance to finish off the post. A tremendous finish, but yeah, it wasn't against one of the players, but I wasn't sure it was deserved. At that point, and it took the wind out of City a little bit. It took a little bit of time just for them to find their way again.
Yeah, but they stuck at it, crucially. And at that moment, of course, in a place like Bramall Lane, they could have capitulated. They did try different ways through, and you felt as though the crossing element of their game didn't quite work out today.
Only because they haven't got people who can get on the end of crosses. Naki in there. They had Naki on the pitch, George Earthy, Anis Mehmeti. And so Sheffield United almost said, right, OK, yeah, we'll let you go wider and we'll let you cross it, but we're not gonna let you come through us. And you see that big crosses to the far post, and they were kind of eating them up. And you think, how are we going to get? There's got to be something clever. If you're going to cross it, put it in there low, in between defenders and goalkeepers, so people can run on it. But you always think, how are they going to find a chance? I kept on saying the word quality, and it was an outstanding bit of quality that got the equaliser.
Yeah, they certainly persevered, and I guess every element of the build-up played its part in contributing to a fabulous goal, in fact. And the substitutes come good for Bristol City. Exactly,
and Joe Williams went down with the cramp on 82 minutes. He's taking the energy bars, but he gets the first ball in here. And what's important, when we say about forward passes, George Earthy gives it, makes another angle, forward pass, finish. It's so key. And we always talk about how forward passes create opportunities, but there are two fantastic forward passes here. George Earthy, little move, changes his angle, gets it back, and then another forward pass. He could easily go sideways or keep running across the 18-yard line, but a little flick with his outside left foot into Sykes, and then Sykes becomes the best centre-forward in the world with that finish. It's a wonderful. Any striker would be absolutely delighted with that. It's almost like a shooting drill. He never looks at the target. All he's looking at is the ball, and he knows where the goal is, and he's thinking, all I need to do is hit this correctly. It was a brilliant finish.
Doesn't score many tap-ins, Mark Sykes. No, it's always pretty impressive. It might be a minor thing, but as a fan watching, you saw the way the players celebrated that goal there. George Earthy sort of tore off towards the bench as though he was ready to go and hug his teammates over there. You sense that real togetherness, and there is a definite belief, and rightly so, given the league position, that City can make something big of this season.
There's a spirit and there's a confidence about the team that, let's be honest, a lot of fans weren't sure of when we went to go into Sheffield United. Before the game, lots of fans would snap your hand and say, take a point, Sheffield United. Yeah, but how would we have got that? Maybe our backs to the wall, and just not by dominating possession, not by quieting down Bramall Lane for 3/4 of the game, not by creating the chances that we did in the first half. Yes, they had opportunities. So the manner of the performance, the manner of the result, I think is just as important as the result itself.
And they're recognising their limitations as well, and finding ways to pick up points.
Yeah, and it's about the squad as well. We always talk about, Dan Reid just needed that one player. This is about the team, and the team is about all those players on the bench being ready to come off. We said about the lack of influence the subs had off the bench against Hull. They were ready. All the players who came on, and the players who came off didn't play badly either, but the players who came on had a really positive effect, and that's the key to Bristol City getting to where they want to get to this season. The whole squad, even the players who didn't play today. Harry Cornick didn't get off the bench, but when he got off the bench, he went and scored. There's players who didn't get a kick. They've got to be ready and waiting to come on and hit the ground running when they come on, because there's no time for subs to settle in. There's no time for you to have a bit of building into your performance. You've got to perform from minute one when you get on the pitch, if City to get to where they need to be.
Yeah, you mentioned when we were talking about playoff chances, Bristol City just focusing on themselves and making sure they pick up the results themselves. We should relish the games coming up, because of course if they do that, it's against sides that are in and around them anyway. Looking ahead to Friday in Norwich, that's going to be a cracking fixture. evening game on TV and everything as well.
Well, the thing about tonight's game, there was something on it for both sides. City could have got into the playoff situation. Sheffield United didn't go top. Sheffield United did go top with their point. It keeps City within striking distance of the playoff positions. The game against Norwich City, at one point Norwich were 2-0 up. They were right up there, but now you can take them out of the equation, beat them, but they're done. You know, everything is on this game for Norwich, so they're going to come out and want to play, and that suits City. Give City a game of football, and I think they're a better side. They might give up a few opportunities, but it's the sort of football that City fans want to watch. They would have enjoyed that game immensely tonight. Every City fan watched that because there was jeopardy in it. Every time City went forward, they created a chance. Yeah, Sheffield United, they created a chance. But that's the sort of football that City fans want to watch. They want to see risk and reward. And in the end, they risked it, they got their reward. And that's what they want to see from now to the end of the season because it gives them a chance of winning in the manner that City fans will enjoy it. And that was the thing. Today, I just thought it was a really enjoyable game of football. I love all the fighting at the end. I think it's this because when you play football, imagine, Tony, you're on the pitch, you are up for it. There's nothing else that matters. When you're on that pitch playing, and that's what showed with that incident at the end where people were getting yellow cards, people were getting involved. Somebody might have got away with a couple of bits and pieces there that maybe they wouldn't have if a referee had seen it. That's football because it is an emotional game. And that's what City, the players, showed tonight in abundance. Emotion, and they channeled it in the right way to get their performance.
Passion, absolutely. Yeah. That's what the fans want to see. Very exciting. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Toby. Yeah.
Leroy. Well, there you have it. Bristol City picking up a point on the road to Sheffield United, adding a point to their tally as we move towards the end of the season as well. On to Norwich on Friday night as we hunt down a place in the playoffs. But for this evening on Robins TV Extra Time, we'll see you soon.